Hello and welcome to a very special episode, a very special video here on Nintendo World Report TV. We're looking at the biggest newsmaking games of the year 2015 for Nintendo systems. I'm Donald Theriault, the news editor at Nintendo World Report, and I'm joined by a now somewhat warmer Neal Ronaghan,
Hi.
NWR site director.
Yeah, I didn't have heat today, but now I do. So let's go.
And the other gentleman with us here is Matt West, associate editor. Hello, Matt. I think this is your first. I think this is the first time we've actually seen your face on video, but I know you did the video review for Mario Tennis.
Yeah, that was just my voice though. So.
Yeah.
And I think and hopefully that'll be the last time we talk about Mario Tennis tonight.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't think it's a newsmaking game. I can tell you that much.
Yeah. So what we're doing here is we've assembled a list of pretty much every game this year that has made a significant amount of news to sort of break down what were the biggest games of the year. And I will say right now, quality means absolutely nothing here unless the quality is part of the news story.
So, I mean, just to throw an example out there, I don't know where Splatoon will end up, but the fact that Splatoon came out and was really good, that's part of the news of Splatoon.
That, like, Splatoon winning Shooter of the Year could be part of the news story.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Of the Game Awards. So just before we begin here, I think we've pretty much got the whole list of games on here, but is there anything that's missing from the little document that we've got right now?
Not that I can think of right now, but I reserve the right to come up with ones as we go and be that guy.
Okay.
yeah, it looks pretty comprehensive to me. So there's even stuff on there that I forgot about. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Except for maybe SteamWorld Heist being boss as fuck. But I don't know if that's newsmaking. That game's just awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay. So this is the list as we have it right now, and I sort of sorted it by approximate release order as much as I could, because this doesn't just cover games that came out this year. It covers stuff going back and into next year, because
it was basically things that were announced this year, or made headlines.
All right. So for previous years, we have Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, Mario Kart 8, Shovel Knight, Hyrule Warriors, Bayonetta 2, and Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS. And for the sake of my sanity, we'll just call it Super Smash Bros.
So, looking at least the 2014 and prior list that you have, I would say that as of a week ago, Bayonetta 2 would be off of this list. However, Bayonetta's got announced for Smash, and I think that makes Bayonetta 2 somewhat safe, even if, I mean, it was a huge announcement. Like, there's no arguing that.
Yeah, she won the Smash ballot, so.
Yeah. When I first drew this up, Bayonetta was on there largely because of the critical acclaim that she had gotten in 2015, especially with winning a certain Internet Message Boards Game of the Year poll, going away, I might add. But then the Smash Direct happens, and suddenly that list is justified.
Yeah. But now, what would we take off of this? I think Hyrule Warriors might be. The Linkle news was big, but that's not Hyrule Warriors. That's Hyrule Warriors Legends, technically.
Right.
So I think Hyrule Warriors. You can axe on this. I mean, I think that the fact that, but I think that the DLC in Hyrule Warriors was a 2014 story and not necessarily a 2015 one.
Right. And the only reason it might have been in there is because some of the Hyrule Warriors Legends content is going to come to Hyrule Warriors itself.
Yeah.
But we could have easily called that under Legends, and Legends isn't on this list either.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd have no problem axing that.
Yeah, I think Hyrule Warriors. And I mean, I feel bad just kind of looking what we can get rid of. Mario Kart 8, I don't know if that... Because I think that, once again, kind of like Hyrule Warriors, where I think that the first DLC pack was the more important one.
Yeah.
Because that's the one where it added Link as a playable character. Like, the second one's just like, I don't know, another F-Zero track in Animal Crossing.
And there was the 200cc too, but...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but even maybe this is just my 7.5 showing, but I don't know if that's necessary to. I don't think that. Well, let's put it this way: I don't think that's topping Bayonetta 2, Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow, or Smash Brothers.
Right.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I think I could hear an argument for Shovel Knight, because I think that the Shovel Knight, I don't think that the like Plague of Shadows, I don't think that would make it Newsmaking Game of 2015. I think that the Amiibo would, and that's still a huge deal, but it's only one huge deal as opposed to multiple.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Plague of Shadows was really cool because it completely changed the game. Like, it made it a new game. You know what I mean? It took one of my favorite games of last year and gave me a new reason to play it, and to play through the whole game as a different character who did different things. Because when they first announced that they were going to do different knights as playable characters, I thought, oh, it's just going to be like a skin change type thing. And it was way more than that. So
yeah, I mean, it's like a whole new game. It's like a remix.
Yeah.
With a completely new playable character. I think Plague of Shadows is incredible.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so we'll save Bayonetta, Smash, and I guess Pokemon for now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I feel like Shovel Knight, like, I mean, I don't think Shovel Knight's topping those three, and I have a feeling that Shovel Knight will fall down the list as time goes on. But I'm not willing to kill Shovel Knight yet. But Mario Kart and Hyrule Warriors can get the fuck out of town.
Yeah.
Update here. So that takes us to 2015. And this list is long.
Yeah.
Do we want to kind of break it down into like 5 at a time or something?
Okay. Yeah, so the first quarter of the list here is Pokemon Shuffle, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, Codename Steam, Affordable Space Adventures, and Splatoon. And I will tell you right now, Splatoon is safe.
Yeah. Make Splatoon go put Splatoon on that safe list.
Yep.
It feels shitty to be like Codename Steam's only important because it bombed, but Codename Steam's only important because it bombed.
Yeah, I mean, I got it and it was okay.
I dug it. Like I didn't wind up finishing it, but I think I got like 2/3 of the way through at least. It just
I will say the update definitely helped.
Oh, totally. I didn't actually really play it much until the update, and I'm glad that I waited.
Yeah, see,
Yeah,
I played probably half the game before the update, and after the update, I was like, why did I play this before that?
Yeah, I played the demo, which obviously came out before the update, and then I waited a month until that was out before I actually ended up getting the game, and I didn't really get that far into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it boils down to I bought Codename Steam for my roommate for less than what it cost to buy an Amiibo up here. So if that's the only criteria, I think we got to get Codename Steam out of here.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter 4, I think it's a tremendous game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there was really anything newsworthy about it.
Yeah,
maybe the Nintendo themed DLC, but like that's it.
I mean, it launched with 3DS, their new 3DS, and they had a Monster Hunter 4 specific.
Yeah, that's true.
3DS. There was Nintendo specific costumes for your Palico companions, but yeah, I mean, I don't think any of that's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only real newsworthy thing on there was that it was a Monster Hunter game that sold 1 million outside of Japan, and I even think Tri might have stumbled to that at some point. So I think we can cut that one off.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I'm glad it sold 1 million. I like the series, but yeah.
All right. Pokemon Shuffle. Sort of here representing the 3 Pokemon free-to-play or free-to-start games that they put out this year with Picross and Rumble World, and also went to mobile on its own later on, separate from some other things we'll talk about. But really, the fact that there were more games of its type sort of dulled the impact, especially where Shuffle didn't do the mechanic that the other two free to start games did of you can buy enough that the free to start goes away.
Yeah. I mean, I still think that Shuffle's important. I don't know if it's top 10 important, but I think that it was an important game that was released that started off a new trend for Nintendo and Pokemon.
Yeah.
So kick it up then.
Yeah, let's not kill it yet, but I would say that's like Shovel Knight, where it's kind of on the chopping block.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that leaves us to Affordable Space Adventures.
Oh, that's a tough one. I love that game, but outside of the DLC, like,
Really good use of the gamepad.
yeah,
Like, and it's one of the only non-Nintendo published games to do so.
yep.
But does that make it a top 10 newsworthy game? I don't think so.
Did
Yeah,
anybody play the DLC?
I haven't
I
yet.
haven't.
I haven't either. I want to. I've heard good things.
I just have too many. Xenoblade X and SteamWorld Heist are just too much for me right now. And
That is
then
that's a really good problem to have.
Yep.
No, yeah, it's a good problem, but yeah, I mean, it's just I have not been able to get around to much else.
Yeah.
Yeah, the main reason I listed Affordable Space Adventures because there's been a trend this year with indie games where they are actively resisting dropping their price. So you saw it first with Shovel Knight last year. It didn't get its first price drop on the eShop until January, and then this year with things like Axiom Verge and SteamWorld Heist, actually, where the developers have come out and said, this opening sale that it's not dropping in price again for a long time after that.
Yeah.
But I don't think maybe that's something that's not Nintendo specific, but it's an example of a wider industry trend.
Yeah. But I don't know if that tops anything else that we got.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess in this case it's an honor to be nominated, but
Yeah.
we'll leave it out for now.
If there's anyone from Knock Games watching this for some reason, like, we love your game. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's not newsmaking.
Yeah. It'll be in another. I'm thinking it'll be in another top 10 we do later on.
I'll be curious. Teaser. We're gonna have our top 10 games of 2015 as an entire site. It'll probably be going up in early January. I think Affordable Space Adventures it might not make my top 10, but damn if it's not like 12.
It's in my top 10 definitely, and it's probably the best co-op game I've played all year.
So what? So we got safe is Shuffle and Splatoon from that.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
So the next group: Earthbound Beginnings, Runbow, Super Mario Maker, Skylander Superchargers, and Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer.
Yeah, I think we probably have some keepers from this one.
I think get Happy Home Designer the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, because that's what introduced the cards.
Ah, damn it.
So I mean, yeah.
What else are they using the cards for?
I didn't like the game necessarily, but it did introduce the cards, and the cards, I know particularly they've been very popular in Japan, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they've been popular here too. So
they were like any other amiibo. They were sold out for a while on most websites. And
I've been able to find them anywhere that would have them. They're in stock right now.
Yeah, and we have, if we want to beat up on Animal Crossing this year, we have another chance a little bit later on.
Oh, yes, we do.
So Animal Crossing, Happy Home Designer, goodbye.
Earthbound Beginnings is safe. I'll fight both of you for that one.
Oh, I'm not gonna fight about that one. I'm safe.
Also, I'm gonna say this: Mother 3 coming to America in 2016. That's I think that's gonna happen.
What is it? Somebody's 20% time project?
Yeah. Maybe. I think now's the time. 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, I think they should, but I'm too afraid to predict anything. Like that game needs to be played by a wider audience.
It's a fantastic game, and Earthbound Beginnings, not quite a fantastic game, still a big announcement.
Yeah.
The other headliner from the Nintendo World Championships, which was a pretty big deal this year.
I would, kind of in retrospect, Earthbound Beginnings might have been the biggest news from Nintendo's E3.
Ouch.
And I don't even mean that as in like everything else was shitty. It's just that like I think that was the most notable new announcement.
You're forgetting Federation Force.
You mean the 2016 Game of the Year?
Yeah, 2016 Game of the Year, Metroid Prime Federation Force. I feel like that wouldn't be too far behind Earthbound Beginnings, but I still think Earthbound Beginnings was a more notable announcement, especially because, I don't know, the reception was actually positive.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later, but yeah, we've moved up Earthbound Beginnings. But if you want to talk E3 announcements that were surprising, that's why Runbow's on this list, is because of the Nindies at Home thing, with Nintendo sort of taking the initiative with their indie developers this year and bringing them to E3 in this fashion, and then bringing it to the wider audience as well.
And that was something that back on the telethon when we had the segment with Nintendo of America's, I don't know, their Nindy dude, Damon Baker. I think we talked to him a little bit about it before we even started, when it was just me, Don, and Damon before we started. But I know we definitely talked about it on the show. So go back and listen to that. The idea of Nindies at Home was really difficult. And the interesting thing is that he even made the comment about how he kind of, in retrospect, wishes they did it differently, because their plan at first was to just kind of have them launch and be like this nice surprise. But he feels like, it seems like in retrospect that the Nindies at Home stuff might have been lost among the crowd of E3 news, which I think is kind of true. And as someone who is like, quote unquote, in the shit at E3, like, the only reason I knew about Nindies at Home was because we got sent codes for them the week before. Mm-hmm. If not, like, I knew people at E3 who were just like, wait, what did Nintendo do? But I mean, maybe that's a little too inside baseball. I don't know.
Mm. Yeah, and then Runbow comes out, and it's a damn good game.
I would say that and Affordable Space Adventures are the two best eShop games on the Wii U of 2015.
Yeah.
I think I might agree with that. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything else. There were a lot of solid games on Wii U eShop, but I think Runbow and Affordable Space Adventures, for my money, are the best two.
Yeah. The only one I'd put in that category is Freedom Planet. Right, Matt?
Freedom Planet was really good. Yeah, I reviewed that one, and I called it the best Sonic game I've played in years.
The bugs really detracted me from Freedom Planet, which I think I've heard that they've kind of fixed it more.
Yeah, they fixed it.
So. Yeah, but that kind of it made me not get it at launch because I heard of too many errors, and I was just like, I got other things to play.
Yeah, what happened when I was reviewing it, I think it was like there was a cutscene between the third and fourth level or something that froze for me, and so I had to replay that level all over again. But I think it was like the next day, they sent out a PR email and said that they had fixed some of the bugs, and so I tried it again and it worked. So
cool.
But yeah, I was able to beat it, and I enjoyed it. There were a few bugs and there were a few hiccups here and there, but yeah, it was a really good game, especially if you're a fan of the old 2D Sonics.
So
are we keeping Runbow?
Let's keep Runbow for now, and we can cycle around to it later.
Okay.
It would be nice to have an indie game on here of some kind, because I don't see any others on the list. All right.
Mario Maker.
Well, let's see. It was their headliner at E3. It was the grand final of the World Championships, and it was the Best Buy demo, and it had the controversial at the time unlock system before everybody figured out how to cheese it.
Well, and then Nintendo made it easier to cheese it.
Yeah.
Because it's funny, because they didn't really fix it, they just made it easier to cheese.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure we have to keep Mario Maker.
My thing with Mario Maker, though, is like, if we're looking at this as Newsmaking Game of the Year, I don't know if the news stories surrounding Mario Maker, outside of like, it's a damn good game, are really like that mind-blowing. And I guess maybe this is coming from someone who like back at, when it was first announced, I guess I was kind of on board for the potential of it, where it seems like a lot more people didn't really believe the potential for this game until E3 2015, until the Nintendo World Championship. So then maybe from a different perspective, that reveal was more important.
Yeah, unfortunately, it kind of set the tone for everything that you make in that game being one gigantic troll.
Yeah. But
I mean, for my money, I think just because of how Nintendo positioned it this year, I would say keep it. But what do you guys think?
I'm fine with keeping it for now, but I would put that in the Shovel Knight category of probably won't make it past the second cuts.
Also, I think keep it because they've also continued to update it throughout the year with
True.
some minor things, like with checkpoints, and now they're adding more. Like they're adding like bumpers, I think, something like that. It
Yeah,
was.
and fire clown cars.
Yeah, so they're adding some stuff that hasn't even been in other 2D Mario games, so that's kind of cool. So I mean, they continue to kind of update it. They added the search feature too, so you can search for levels better.
Although isn't that's like out like Tuesday or Monday or something? I think.
Yeah, they're adding it. Yeah.
Monday night, Tuesday morning. So if it's not out by
Okay.
the time you're seeing this, it'll be out probably
Yeah.
later on tonight.
Yeah. So I mean, they've continued to update it, so it's kind of stayed in the news.
Okay. I don't know you, but I'm running around as Master Belch in every level now.
Oh God, yeah, I need to get
Yeah,
that, don't
no,
I?
that was another thing I was going to say about it is I think it might have my favorite usage of Amiibo so far.
Yeah, and even more so because there's alternate ways to unlock it, and I love the event courses that they added.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm kind of doubling back. I think that the pre-release news wasn't that important, but I think that the post-release news was important because I think that the event courses are an extraordinarily smart thing that they probably should have had from the start.
Yeah.
Okay, so Super Mario Maker is safe. Skylander Superchargers becomes the first Toys to Life game to support Amiibo as well.
As probably the only person on this entire fucking staff that played that game, it's a dope game. And I think the idea that Donkey Kong and Bowser are in an Activision game is a really cool thing. And I think that news might, for people who don't care about Skylanders, I mean, it doesn't register with you, and that's probably for better or worse the majority of our audience. So if you're watching this and you're like, "No, man, I like Skylanders," let us know, because I like it too. But with like Bowser and Donkey Kong being playable in Skylanders and having that kind of like the Amiibo and Skylanders being one thing, that set the stage for stuff like Shovel Knight as an Amiibo to happen, and having more of this outreach with third party with more than just video games.
Yeah.
All right.
For me, I just felt like the news happened at E3 that Donkey Kong and Bowser were going to be in it. And then I specifically remember the bundle situation.
Yep.
That there
Oh
were
God,
different
yeah.
versions, and that upset a lot of people.
And it was also, I mean, as some, like, I reviewed the Wii U version. We were never given a copy of the 3DS or Wii version for review. They're completely different games. Like, the Wii and 3DS version's like a kart racer for some reason. And the Wii U version's like the kind of typical Skylanders, huge-ass awesome adventure. But they didn't seem to communicate that too well, that they were completely different games, and I think that would have alleviated from day one at E3. It would have alleviated some pain with being like, no, like, you get different things and they're different games.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a crappy situation because it really does, it forces people who want Bowser and Donkey Kong to buy, you know, what is that, like $120 worth of game to get the two Skylanders amiibo. Although, to be fair, there's usually a lot of deals where you can get, like, buy one, get one free starter kits or buy one, get one 50% off.
Yeah, and they were slashing those prices on Black Friday.
Yeah, I think you could get Skylanders for, like, $30 with, you know, 2 figures in a vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the main reason why I got so upset at this because there's the regular versions and then the dark versions, and that really put me off buying it because God help Justin Berube for trying to have to buy all 4 games.
I think he only has the dark ones, and I think that's. I mean, he will probably. For people who don't know, Justin Berube, who I think he's been on a couple videos, not as many, but he writes for us. He's our features editor at the website. He is a mega collector Nintendo guy. And he has like one of everything. It's pretty incredible, I guess.
Justin's the person who tried to figure out how you could use an amiibo without opening the package.
Yeah, he's also the person who has like 15 copies of Picross 3D, so that way he can have all the DLC downloaded.
Nice.
But anyway, with Skylander Superchargers, I know that he has not gotten the current the regular starter kits, probably because he's anticipating them going on sale.
Yeah. So I guess Skylander is safe in or out.
That's where save it for now.
Okay. All right. So the next group here, just be 4 for now, because there's 8 left. Yoshi's Woolly World, Fatal Frame, Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes, and Yokai Watch.
I don't think Woolly World should be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's one of those games where it released and there you go.
Yeah,
I think
it was. Yeah. I mean, it was clearly delayed like an entire year because there was a level for it in Smash Brothers.
Yeah,
and
like it was as far. I don't have anything like 100% confirmed other than the fact that I think at one point it was. No, actually, not that Nintendo has said it publicly, but considering that Yoshi's Woolly World I think was actually scheduled to be released in 2014 and then got delayed, like. Got pushed back a year in America.
Well, it was revealed back in January of 2013.
So was Zelda for Wii U.
Yeah, so was...
And Xenoblade.
Yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles X was too. So.
Yeah, and Yoshi's Woolly World, I mean, it's bad enough. It got kicked back probably about 6 months, given when it came out in Europe and Japan. Yeah. And then North America gets an extra quarter on top of that for reasons. I don't know. Maybe they were printing up the amiibo.
I mean, I think that the only news-making situation with this is the adorable amiibo, and I don't think that's enough to carry it into cracking this top 10 list.
Okay. So Yoshi out. Fatal Frame. Honestly, the fact that it did actually come out in North America that's why it ended up on this list. There was some other controversy with that. I don't think we have the time or energy to get into.
The fact that when I was reading Fatal Frame on this list, and I was like, oh yeah, that did come out.
Yeah.
I'm not in favor of keeping Fatal Frame on this list. I mean, for people that like that series, it's great that it did come out, even if it was only download in North America. But I don't think it's. I think Affordable Space Adventures would top this game.
Yeah. And
even if it's super spoopy.
Yeah. The other issue, yeah, you're right. I don't have the energy to get into that. So.
Yeah, and that'll come up again later too, probably.
Oh joy!
Oh boy, Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes. I mean, we didn't know this game existed until June, and then it seems like Nintendo spent most of the next few months shooting it in the foot.
Yeah, I would also probably. I would mildly predict that probably the development staff didn't know that the game was coming out in 2015 until about June, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, especially with some of the updates and stuff that have come out, like this reeks of a game that got pushed up because Zelda Wii U slipped and Hyrule Warriors Legends wasn't going to make end of the year.
And Twilight Princess HD wasn't either, apparently.
Yeah. Well, and we'll get to that, but I'm actually kind of curious why Twilight Princess HD isn't out like right now. Like,
well, yeah, we'll talk about that when it comes
we'll get to that when we get there. But I don't think Triforce Heroes cracks this list, even though I think it's a really awesome game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting game, but
you could talk about it because it's just another example of people's frustration with Nintendo's lack of voice chat in their games. But I think you could cover that with Splatoon. So
yeah.
Splatoon is a much better example of that too. So.
Very true.
Although I think this year the trend was voice chat. No voice chat in your game is a good thing. See also Rocket League.
Yeah.
All right. So no Zelda, and that brings us to Yokai Watch. God knows Nintendo tried to make this a big deal, but sales numbers in North America really didn't bear that out. So. If we're keeping
what were the sales numbers? Did we get like a number? Or
not much.
Let's put it this way. From the numbers we've obtained, Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon outsold it. And
Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon was like the best-selling Nintendo game in November.
Yeah, and Mystery Dungeon barely cleared 6 figures. So for something that Nintendo is trying to promote as a huge friggin' deal. Right down to having Yokai Watch crash Nintendo Directs after it came out. That's not good.
I do also think, I mean, just from the sales, I think that Yokai Watch it might be a slow burn in North America.
Mm.
I like because the toys aren't even out yet. I think the toys are they might starting to be reaching stores now. I think the wide release is January.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's the kind of thing that you have. What is it? It's Hasbro's doing the toys, Disney XD has the cartoon, and Nintendo has the games. I think it's going to be the kind of thing that, like, I mean, the book isn't written on Yokai Watch yet, even if the first game kind of bombed. Because one, from everything I've heard, the second game's like almost infinitely better than the first one.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's you got to see if it's going to catch on.
Yeah. Now, I was one of the people that bought the game.
Same here.
And I enjoyed it, but it has a lot to improve on for the second one, I feel like. And so, but since is the third one out yet in Japan?
I think it's coming out next year.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a 2016 game. They put a spin-off out this year though, and that spin-off's already cleared 1 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for what it's
Yokai Watch Busters.
yeah, and Yokai Watch 1 actually did about comparatively in Japan, it did about this well in its first few weeks. It wasn't until really the anime started that it started consistently showing up in the sales charts. It crawled to 1 million, and then Yokai Watch 2 came out and completely went crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if Yokai Watch is still underperforming, like in March or April, then I think there's a little more cause for concern.
Okay.
But once those toys hit stores and they make the bigger push, and I think also, I mean, as far as the toys hitting stores, I would assume partially they're hitting in January because Star Wars owns everything.
Yes.
And I mean, we'll see in the aftermath of that if Yokai Watch can eke out their own spot there and take over.
Yeah, so maybe you bring Yokai Watch back for this next year, but for now, it's out. Okay. All right, so the last 4 2015 games to consider. Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, Xenoblade Chronicles X, Devil's Third, and Minecraft.
I mean, Amiibo Festival, I think it is representative of how terrible like November was as a release month for Nintendo, but I don't think it needs to make the list.
No. Although I think there may be a bigger story next year with that game as well if the launch Animal Crossing Amiibo are still sitting on store shelves not doing anything. Like
They are.
Yeah, I've seen the same set of Amiibo in my the Walmart 5 minutes from my apartment since about day one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because no one Japan cares about those characters, but I think that in every other region, I don't think Animal Crossing is that big.
I think there's maybe 5 characters anyone cares about in Animal Crossing. One's bundled with Amiibo Festival, one's in a 3-pack, and one isn't even out yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Tom Nook, KK Slider, Isabel.
And Rossetti, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, Amiibo Festival, you're gone. And nothing of value was lost.
Devil's Third probably deserves to be on this list.
For let me. Am I even allowed to say what happened with me in this game in particular?
I think so. I don't know. I don't know if I care. I'll stop you if it's bad.
Okay, let's just say the word super embargo was involved.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, yeah, Devil's Third. I guess let me think of the most delicate way I can put this. So there was all this stuff about, like, is it actually coming out in America? Around that same time, there were previews going up from Europe, and you heard that the game's terrible. And that's why Nintendo wasn't keeping it. And there was a whole big, what was that? That was like a 2-3 week run where it was like, oh yeah, Nintendo's dropping it in North America, and Nintendo not saying a damn word. And then it came out that Xseed, and I heard from several sources that Xseed was set to publish that game at the end of this year. And then in the 11th hour, apparently Nintendo tried to save face, and we're picking it back up to publish it to no fanfare.
For this year, this sort of felt like the year of the misguided fan campaign, and Devil's Third is patient zero for that.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I think Devil's Third deserves to be kept on the list, even if like the reason why it's there is pretty shitty.
Okay, all I know is my history, because of my history with this game, I'm fine with keeping it, but I can't in good conscience put it anywhere higher than number 10.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I don't. I'll be surprised if it even makes the list. I just think it's not dead yet.
Okay.
Well, and it's
Uh,
also going for like what, like $100 now? Like,
Yeah.
oh
Like
yeah,
that's the other crazy thing too. That buying physical copies is really hard.
yeah, it's like rarer than Marth amiibos were back last year.
or Lucina is right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The yeah, I think what was the number that they threw around for GameStop
it was
nationwide
420.
was 420 units.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. 420 because it was smoking
Yeah.
up.
I really don't think Nintendo printed more than like 1,500 copies of this game for the entire continent. And I could have had one, but I let it go because the game was that bad. All right. Xenoblade Chronicles X. Obviously, this finally came out in 2015. It was probably Nintendo's most ambitious game in God since Xenoblade. And, well, it had its own little controversy as well. But I'm thinking this will show up on another top 10, so I'm fine with leaving it out.
Yeah, because I don't know if there was much news with Xenoblade.
yeah. I mean,
Like it came out and it was dope. Like that's the news.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And so, like I said, we'll see Xenoblade again soon.
Yeah.
And finally, just came out this past week, Minecraft.
It's safe as far as I'm concerned. Even if it's stupid late, it's still big news. Microsoft is working with Nintendo on releasing a video game. That happened.
yeah.
So Minecraft. All right, so that brings us to the 2016 list. And so we'll sort of split this one up as well. Start out first bunch: Fire Emblem Fates, Twilight Princess HD, Pokken Tournament, and Miitomo.
Miitomo totally needs to be on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Nintendo going into cell phone games, I will be shocked if this thing's not on the podium at the end of the day.
I mean, Twilight Princess HD. Okay, so getting back to what we were talking about earlier, I don't know if Twilight Princess HD deserves to be in the list because I think that another Zelda remake isn't really like sexy news. Even though I'm very excited to revisit it. However, there are some things about it. First off, it's being developed by an Australian studio. So Zelda is being handled not by a Japanese company for I think the first time since the CDI.
Yeah.
Oh no, don't bring that up.
So the first time, and also, I mean, we were talking about with Triforce Heroes about how that kind of got moved up. There were quotes from Tantalus, or I think Straight Right is like their porting arm, because they did Mass Effect 3. I think they did Deus Ex.
Yeah, and they
on
did
Wii U.
the Zombie U port from Wii U to PS4 and Xbox One.
And like someone from it might have been the head of that studio made a comment, I think earlier this year, saying that they're working on their biggest project ever. That's porting a really notable game from a really notable series to Wii U, and that was Twilight Princess HD. And in that comment, it said it was coming out this year. And as we know now, Twilight Princess HD is set for March of next year. So we don't really know what happened there, and I feel like if we knew what happened there, then maybe this would be a newsworthy game. But as it stands, I don't know if it is.
Okay, I'm going to throw out a conspiracy theory here because remember, the other thing that came out from Twilight Princess HD was that it leaked onto the eShop in October and brought a whole bunch of games with it. So it's entirely possible that Twilight Princess HD is done, and the only reason they haven't released it is because of the Wolf Link amiibo.
It could be, and it could also maybe have gotten to the point where Nintendo's like, well, 2015's fucked. Let's just try to do it better next year.
Well, adding on to that, 2016 is The Legend of Zelda's 30th anniversary.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I feel like they want to pull out all the stops. I mean, other than Mario and maybe you could argue Pokemon, it's their biggest, most famous series. So I feel like part of the reason why maybe it's in 2016 rather than this year is because of that too. So.
Yeah.
All right, so in or out for Twilight Princess?
I say out, but what do you guys think?
No, I think out too.
Okay. All right, so it's out.
What about Pokken?
Pokken Tournament. Well, it certainly got the biggest reveal that it could possibly have gotten, showing up at E3 because they showed it off to a rabid Pokemon fan base at the World Championships there.
Yeah, you can check out on this here YouTube channel. You can check out, I think, cell phone cam footage of that reveal because we had our host of Nintendo News Report, Alex Kalafi, was in the audience when this got revealed.
Mm-hmm. Now, unfortunately, like aside from some of the things, like they've announced new characters for it in the arcade that are probably going to come to the Wii U version, but aside from being, the other example we have of amiibo cards, I could easily see dropping this. I don't think it's.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be bigger news next year. So.
Yeah, once it comes out and like Masigno's a hidden character or something. All right. So,
did we talk about Fates?
Fire Emblem Fates. Oh God, this thing has been in the news all year, and I'm gonna pull my other "this has to stay" card on this game because it was the first game in the first Nintendo Direct of the year.
Yeah.
They're doing the 3 version thing, showing they actually have confidence in the series for the first time ever.
Yeah. And Corrin and Smash, I feel, is the icing on the cake that it needs to stay.
Yeah, that and, well, the whole same-sex marriage thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Fates is up.
All right, so we got the next ones.
All right, so next up, we've got Star Fox Zero, Pokemon Go, Picross 3D 2, and Dragon Quest 7.
Pokemon Go absolutely needs to stay.
Yeah, there's people talking about that all over the place.
I think that Pokemon Go is something that, in my opinion, is pretty stupid, but like I'll play that. I have friends that have expressed interest in like, hey man, let's go places and catch Pokemon, so I'm in, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even if you want to look at it in terms of making news, like this is the only Nintendo relevant game that showed up in Google's Zeitgeist list at the end of the year. So it may not mean as much to the hardcore player, but to the wide audience that Nintendo's been going after since time immemorial, this is a big friggin' deal.
Yeah. So that absolutely stays.
Yeah. Picross 3D 2, Neal, I freely admit this one's yours.
I mean, it's not gonna. If there was an announcement for the West, I would fight for it. But as it stands, I'm just gonna say, if you haven't played the first Picross 3D, what the hell are you doing with your life? And I will say that my wife has probably put 60 or 70 hours into this game and has 100%ed it to the point of like getting every high score and everything. And we just got, because I have a normal Japanese 3DS, and we just got the little hockey puck for Amiibo, so now she can use all the Amiibo for it too.
All right. Star Fox Zero. I mean, this for a while, this seemed like it was going to be the holiday game, and then it randomly got delayed, and then it gets delayed out to next year.
Yeah, I think I'm really interested in this game, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like the delay was actually the biggest news about it this year.
Yeah.
It was set. They had a date.
Yep.
And Nintendo usually doesn't do that. Like once they set the actual day, it's usually, it's for good.
Yeah, and I mean they had the Falco Amiibo coincidentally coming out that same day, and
yeah, which it still did, but Zero did
but
it's a cool Amiibo.
So
I think Star Fox Zero can get axed because I think the biggest news about it was the delay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm specifically bitter about its delay because it got replaced with Mario Tennis Ultra Smash.
Yep.
So
I am so I think I got out the best of all three of us on that deal.
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't get that too bad because I just played it for a night and then sent it to Matt for review.
I got more than I effectively paid
yeah,
for
true.
in trade
Yeah.
credits. So yeah, so
I
Star
think-
Fox maybe next year.
Dragon Quest VII, yes, because Dragon Quest, at least for next year, Dragon Quest is back.
yeah, for Dragon Quest fans, which includes me,
And me.
that was huge.
Yep.
Because for the longest time, I had just kind of given up on getting 7 and 8 here, and when they announced that, that might have been my favorite announcement of that direct, just because I had pretty much given up on it. So
Yeah, I'll put it up, but I think there's another entry on this list that might supersede it, but we'll see.
okay.
All right. So the last bunch here, I think there's a couple that we can take out pretty quickly, so I'll just run through the last of them. Zero Time Dilemma, aka Zero Escape 3. Gene Ibun Roku Sharp FE, or SMT Cross Fire Emblem. Can they please give that an actual title?
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
Well, I mean, that is its actual title. It's like out in Japan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's got a different title in Japan.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
then Dragon Quest XI, the 2016 Game of the Year, Metroid Prime Federation Force, Zelda Wii U, and Bloodstained. I forget the subtitle. That's
Ritual of the Night, I believe, is the subtitle.
Thank you, Matt. So
I think Dragon Quest VII trumps Dragon Quest XI because Dragon Quest VII is actually coming to the West.
And it's actually for sure coming to a Nintendo system that we already talked about.
I mean, Dragon Quest XI is coming to 3DS. That's
Oh,
an
yeah.
the question is,
I was
does
thinking more about the rumored NX announcement. So
the reason Dragon Quest XI got nominated in the first place was because Square might have accidentally announced the first NX game, or second NX game if you want to throw 10 in there.
If it got confirmed, then yes, that would be a bigger deal. But I think that while there's a lot of smoke around that fire, I don't think it's solid enough to make this list.
yeah.
All right, and I freely admit I threw Zero Time Dilemma on here just because it had the longest viral marketing campaign in the history of Nintendo, at least that I know of. But I'm probably the only person on this call who cares about it, so we can cut it.
It's very true.
I'm assuming we have to keep Zelda Wii U.
Yeah.
Because whether or not we got 14 seconds of footage of it in one Nintendo Direct at the end of the year, the fact is its delay is what started the dominoes to Star Fox Zero to Mario Tennis Ultra Smash.
Like, I'm trying to think of, like, it's kind of like how and this is very, very topical, how in Star Wars A New Hope, the Emperor is never seen, and well, I guess even Empire, too. In A New Hope and Empire, the Emperor is a constant presence despite only being in, like, a 15-second video call to Darth Vader.
Yep.
In those two movies. But the Emperor is always there. The Empire is always there.
Yeah.
But you don't see the Emperor. And that's kind of... Zelda Wii U is Emperor Palpatine. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, that summed it up perfectly. To me, it's the most fascinating game on this list because we literally got nothing new about it whatsoever.
Yeah.
We didn't get a title. We didn't get footage of a dungeon. We just got the same grassy field that we've already seen.
Yeah.
But yet this game was so huge in what Nintendo's plans for the year, specifically the holiday season, ended up being. So
yeah, I mean, the funniest thing about this game to me is that at the Game Awards this year, Nintendo could have literally shown the exact same video that they showed last year and changed nothing about it, and it still works.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. So Zelda's up, and that leaves the Gene Ibun Roku. I mean, yes, it exists, and it is in no way what anybody thought it would be. I think most people.
It's crazy Japanese shit. So yeah, that's exactly what I thought it would be.
Well, I think we assumed it would be like a strategy RPG.
Yeah.
Persona 5.5.
I'm very glad the game exists, but I don't know if it's a newsmaker.
No.
Yeah, especially since it's not out in the West yet.
Yeah.
With no release date announced, God, I hope that's soon because I've got it in a fantasy league that runs through E3.
Metroid Prime Federation Force. I mean, I think that the news there is the backlash.
Yeah.
And it was a hell of a backlash.
Yeah, it stemmed from we just haven't had a true Metroid game in a long time. Other M was disappointing to a lot of people, so that means the last time we got a true Metroid game would have been, or a true Metroid Prime or 2D Metroid game would have been what, Corruption in 07?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's been 8 years, and the last time we had that long of a gap was between Super Metroid and Metroid Prime. So it's just been too long, and I think fans are tired of waiting. And so when Metroid came up, everybody was like, "Oh, cool, Metroid!" And then they saw something that to them wasn't Metroid, and so that I think that's what sparked the rage. Is just they just want a true Metroid game. Not that this game will be bad, because I think this game looks fun, personally.
Yeah.
Like I'll play it. It kind of looks like Metroid Monster Hunter to me.
Exactly.
So I mean, I'm up for that. But at the same time, I'm a huge Metroid fan. It is a little disappointing that it's been 8 years since we got a true Metroid game. So I was hoping to see Metroid Prime 4 or Metroid 5.
I would like to think it's only been 5 years since a true Metroid game, but that's just me.
It depends on how you feel about Other M. I liked Mother M, but I didn't love it. So.
And
I felt compelled to play through that game in a pretty short span, and I enjoyed what I played. It has a lot of flaws.
Yeah.
And I think that people that try to unwrite Metroid Other M from history, Donald, I think that people try to do that are crazy, because I've played a lot of bad games. Metroid Other M is not a bad game.
No, it's not bad.
It's a confused game. It's a weird game, but I don't think that's a bad game.
Yeah, I would agree. I think maybe though, in comparison to the Prime trilogy, if you're comparing it to what the series did before, which may not be fair, I'll admit, and it's the same thing that they're doing to Federation Force. Compare it to what the series has done elsewhere in Super Metroid and Metroid.
Comparison.
It's just not even close.
Well, I mean that's just you're comparing a game to the Citizen Kane of gaming. So
yeah,
I mean, it's just
no. And I said it's probably an unfair comparison to make.
Yeah.
But that's the comparison a lot of fans are going to make. So
fun fact: the dude who wrote that article about Metroid Prime being the Citizen Kane of gaming contributed to Planet GameCube.
I have to say I didn't expect a Metroid Other M discussion on this show.
Yeah, I'd say you started it inadvertently.
Yeah. So.
But Federation Force, I think it stays.
Okay. All right. And so that leaves one game left, and that's Bloodstained. The main reason it was on here is because, I mean, that game broke Kickstarter records this year, and God help Armature, they're trying to port Unreal Engine 4 to the Wii U to make this work.
Godspeed. The Wii U version's an afterthought. It's a port. I don't know if that's news. I mean, it is literally news. I'm glad it's coming to Wii U and everything, but let's put it this way. I'm looking at what we have that's safe right now. Bloodstained ain't topping any of those things.
Speaking of Kickstarter successes, though, one of the things that I think we may have forgotten was Yooka-Laylee.
Oh, yeah.
Which is big news.
Yooka-Laylee should keep Yooka-Laylee.
Yeah, because it's big news for Nintendo fans specifically because it's old. It's basically a lot of the talent from the N64 days of Rare, which is huge to a lot of Nintendo people, especially. I mean, Banjo-Kazooie is one of my favorite platformers ever.
Yeah.
I love that game, and this looks like, it's going to be everything that Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts was not. Which for me that's huge. So, and it was a huge success on Kickstarter too.
Yeah, so. I probably should have put Ukulele on there because it was breaking Kickstarter land speed records.
Yeah.
Bloodstained sort of crawled to where it kind of crawled to where it got to, but it did get there. But Ukulele got off to, I think, still the fastest start in the history of the site.
Yeah.
All right, so we've put Ukulele up there. So this is what we've got now for games that are still in the running for this top 10 list. We've got Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, Bayonetta 2, Shovel Knight, Super Smash Bros., Splatoon, Pokemon Shuffle, Earthbound Beginnings, Runbow, Super Mario Maker, Skylander Superchargers, Devil's Third, Minecraft, Miitomo, Fire Emblem Fates, Pokemon Go, Dragon Quest VII, Zelda Wii U, the 2016 Game of the Year, and Ukulele. So we have cut this list in half.
Okay. Are we all in agreement that Miitomo needs to be on this list?
I think it does because it's.
I think it's in the top 10, like for certain. I think that Splatoon is also in the top 10 for certain.
Yeah.
I think Pokemon Go is in the top 10 for certain.
Yeah, and what about Zelda for Wii U?
Yeah.
I think that's in the top 10 for certain.
Yeah, because, I mean, again, it wasn't really actually talked about much, but the way it affected everything.
Yeah.
And I think the two other things that I think we need to keep are Fire Emblem Fates and Smash Brothers.
Yep, I was just going to say Smash Brothers. And Fire Emblem Fates, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm not quite as big of it. Like, I enjoy playing the Fire Emblem games, but I've never been, like, super crazy about them. But like I said, I think that Corin or however the hell you say that name, that character being in Smash Brothers is the icing on the cake of Fire Emblem Fates and its importance.
Yeah, and
so we've got 6.
All right. So which 4 then of the last dozen or so that we've got here you just need to stay, or do we need to have another round of cuts?
I think Federation Force, just because of how extremely negative the reaction to it was. I remember like the YouTube video for it.
Yeah.
The percentage of dislike to like was ridiculous.
Neal, was it ever confirmed that Nintendo yanked the digital event replay from YouTube for a bit because of the negative reaction to Federation Force?
It was never confirmed, but that seems likely. All right, so looking at here, just kind of going down the list, I think Red, Blue, Yellow can be cut. I think Bayonetta can be cut. I think Shovel Knight can be cut.
Mm.
Yeah.
Is there any resistance?
No, I'm amazed Bayonetta made it this far. Honestly, even with the Smash appearance, and Bayonetta 2 was my game of the year last year. So,
yeah. What did we do with Minecraft?
Minecraft right now is still in.
Okay.
I think Minecraft should be it. I'm just spacing that out a little better. I think Minecraft should be up there. I think Federation Force should be up there.
Yeah, because Minecraft's just big because it's a Microsoft-owned game.
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we've got 8.
Eight spots taken. So
I'm taking command. I'm taking off Pokemon.
All right.
I'm gonna take off what we already have up there.
The ones that I'm seeing left that are big would be Dragon Quest, Earthbound Beginnings, Mario Maker, and probably maybe Ukulele.
So yeah, so I mean we have 8 in there, and we have 2, 4, 6, 8 left. Great.
Yeah. So
Superchargers, Skylander Superchargers, and I think it's out. I would say if we were to do a top 15, Superchargers would assuredly be in there, but I don't think it's making the top 10.
Yeah. Of the ones that are on here, I think, as much as I hate to say it, I think Devil's Third needs to stay. Just so we can say this is your fault, people. And I think the other one would be, man, I can't believe I'm saying this. I think we need to put Rumbo in there. Just because the eShop has had a really banging year, and I think it helps to have a representative of that in the top 10.
You think it goes in over like Dragon Quest though?
I think Mario Maker. Well, I guess before we get into that, I think Pokemon Shuffle and Mario Maker are both out.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So
I love Runbow, but because we've got, so right now, I guess to recap, we have safe right now and likely, I would say, almost guaranteed to be on the list. Tomo, Splatoon, Pokemon Go, Zelda Wii U, Fire Emblem Fates, Smash Brothers, Federation Force, Minecraft, and Devil's Third.
Yeah.
And for one spot, we have Earthbound Beginnings, Runbow, Dragon Quest VII, and Yooka-Laylee. I think I don't want to take off Earthbound Beginnings, but if Earthbound Beginnings was Mother 3, it makes the list, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's still super awesome that it's out. I still haven't even bought it. Maybe I'm part of the problem. If Mother 3 doesn't come out in 2016, it's because I didn't buy Earthbound Beginnings.
Way to go, Neal.
So sorry, everybody.
Hey, don't blame me. I bought it day one.
Yeah, I've got it. So.
Yeah. Now, have I played it? No.
I think we got Runbow, Dragon Quest VII, and Yooka-Laylee. I think Yooka-Laylee's the odd man out in this trio.
Yeah, I honestly, with Kickstarter, sure it did great, but it's also, I mean, if you want to go that way, it's a multi-platform game, and with anything you have on Kickstarter, you have no clue of when it's actually going to come out. If they make late 2016 with that game, I'll eat my hat.
I mentioned it specifically because of the connection with Rare and the old 64 platformers.
Don't get me wrong. I think Yooka-Laylee is going to be great. Yeah. Everything that we've seen of it has looked very positive. No idea when the hell it's going to come out. I kind of got away from backing game Kickstarters. I guess as time has gone on.
I think though they said they were aiming for October of next year.
Yeah, which from what we've seen about it, it seems like, I mean, those guys know how to make games. That's why I think that fall next year seems very realistic for that. Mm-hmm. But then again, Rare games always got delayed, so spring 2017 also seems really realistic for that.
Yeah, pretty much. All right,
so we got...
I do agree that is the odd man out of the remaining three. So
yeah, I think if I have to pick between Rumbow and Dragon Quest VII and the importance of the news that is associated with them, I would go Dragon Quest VII.
Okay, I'll give you an idea here. Keep Runbow, keep Dragon Quest VII, kill Devil's Third.
Shit. Is there any... No, I think that's... I think... Because Miitomo's not moving, Splatoon's not moving, Pokemon Go's not moving, Zelda Wii U's not moving, Fire Emblem's not moving, Smash Brothers isn't moving, Minecraft isn't moving. I could hear an argument for maybe not having Federation Force, but I feel like... Actually, you know what? I think that Federation Force and Devil's Third serve the same purpose of explaining Nintendo, the negative reaction to Nintendo stuff, and also their failings at E3 this year. So I am okay with kicking out Devil's Third and throwing in Rumbow and Dragon Quest VII.
Okay.
All right, let's do it. Oh boy. So we've got, that's our top 10, folks. Now
ordering.
Now the final fun part, ranking these things.
Phew.
All right, I'm bringing up a notepad so that way I can play.
All right. And
I think I might do the same.
Yeah, I've got one up now. It had my predicted order, which I'll probably give at the end of this thing. But it is the top half seems solid, but I think 6 of the game. I think I missed 4 games that were on the list initially. I figured they'd be in the top 10 and didn't make it. All right. So how do we want to? Do we want to go bottom up or top down? Like start it with 10 or 1 or
Let's
sort of pick
see.
and choose?
I think Rumbo's number 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I mean, cool. I mean, it's cool that it's there, and
Yeah.
it seems. I mean, if we're covering off the Devil's Third stuff with Federation Force, that seems fair. Rumbo in at number 10.
I don't know. All these other ones are pretty big.
Yeah, I think Minecraft. I mean, Minecraft is big, but between how late in the year it came and sort of what it means, I think just the sheer fact that we're probably not going to see most of Minecraft's impact until next year, especially where it's going to be coming out. It's not coming out in stores until next year. I think Minecraft at number 9.
Yeah. Also, the
Minecraft. I think 8 and 9 are Minecraft and Dragon Quest 7, but I think I would put Minecraft ahead of Dragon Quest 7 for a lot of the same reasons that you just said why Minecraft wouldn't be that high.
Hey, here's the thing about Minecraft, though. I feel like the Nintendo-related stuff, like their Nintendo exclusive content, probably won't hit until early next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And Dragon Quest 7 isn't going to be even out in stores until next summer.
right.
Yeah.
Well, there for me it was like, and I'm a Dragon Quest fan, so maybe this is why. But almost all year it was like, are we gonna get Dragon Quest 7 or are we not gonna get it? And 8 was along with that. And then when they announced 11, it was like, okay, but what about 7 and 8 still? So for me, it was in my mind. Maybe that's probably not the case of everybody though.
Yeah. I think,
Like, I mean, there's just been, like, if Dragon Quest 7 like came out at the same time as Minecraft, then maybe there's a little more debate. But I think Minecraft is a bigger newsmaking game of 2015 than Dragon Quest 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if it had come out in a month that wasn't December, it probably would be even higher on this list than it is.
Yeah, because we probably would have seen some of that Nintendo exclusive content.
Yeah.
All right, so Minecraft at 8, and Dragon Quest 7 at 9.
Federation Force at 7?
All right, I got no complaints about that.
I don't see anything going below it that's not out yet.
Yeah.
Or not placed.
Mm-hmm.
I have in my little mock-up, I have Fire Emblem Fates at 6, but I think that I might be in the minority with having it that low.
Well, I had it at 5 in my mock-up, and I never anticipate. It slipped my mind how big Pokemon Go would be.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, Fire Emblem Fates did a lot this year.
Yeah.
But some of that stuff was kind of minor, and a lot of the impact of that, again, we're not going to see it until next year.
I think the only game that Fire Emblem Fates tops is possibly Smash, but then you need to take into account that Smash introduced Cloud, and Smash introduced Ryu, and Roy and Lucas came. Although I guess was Lucas announced? No, Lucas was announced in 2015. Yeah.
Yeah, he was announced in April and came out in June. So if you want to put, and I think in Smash Brothers needs to be on there just because it generated so much news this year, and more importantly, it generated so much hype with the Smash ballot.
Yep.
So it's got to be pretty high, but I'll take Fates at 6.
I think Miitomo's at 5.
You figure because of just because of what it is. I mean, aside from the fact that it's Nintendo self-publishing a mobile game, but it just where it's like Tomodachi Life.
Yeah, I'm looking at like Nintendo publishing a mobile game, like entering mobile, like that's probably the biggest news of the year. But it just if we were doing like specific stories, that would be number 1. But we're doing newsmaking games, and from a newsmaking game perspective, I don't think Miitomo tops Smash. I don't think it tops Pokemon Go. I don't think it tops Splatoon. Maybe Zelda.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. Because we have put a lot of games on this list that have actually been in the news more than Zelda. So
Yeah.
how much importance are we going to give to Zelda? Because we could put it at number one, just because of how important it was to the releases that happened later this year. But I feel like it could also be at number 10, just because we actually didn't really hear much about it this year.
All right. I'm curious. Out of the 5 remaining, what would you guys put at number 1?
I had Splatoon.
Yeah.
So do I.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll run with
So let's put
Splatoon.
Splatoon there, because I think that Splatoon, from even before it came out, like that was a game that generated consistent news
Mhm.
for months.
I mean, Nintendo had a freaking beta this year. When have
Yeah.
they ever had a beta for anything?
Yeah.
For Triforce Heroes.
And that came after Splatoon. and at least most of the time, the Splatoon test fire actually freaking worked.
Yeah.
Last,
there was one that was really bad.
yeah.
Mhm.
But they flipped that server configuration away before launch, so it came out as a smooth. And just from the sheer, I mean, if you're looking at quantity of news, the fact that they were updating Splatoon bi-weekly and weekly,
Yeah.
and they're still going to be carrying that into the new year. Yeah, Splatoon definitely number one.
Yeah, I mean, it's still getting new maps. Splatfests are still happening, and it's still selling like crazy in Japan.
Yeah,
It's selling pretty well here too.
yeah, but have you ever heard of a shooter selling 1 million copies in Japan before Splatoon?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you guys have at number 2?
I had Zelda Wii U.
I have Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I have Pokemon Go too.
Okay.
Oh.
I'll accept the outvote on that. Yeah. So Pokemon Go, number 2, just because
Just because of what it represented to people that like, because I feel like in the like core Nintendo circle, maybe people wouldn't rate it that high, but I have like lots of people that, you know, they don't own a Wii U, they don't own a 3DS, but they're stoked for
Like
Pokemon.
I think Pokemon Go is the more important mobile announcement of the year,
Yeah.
games wise.
even if Nintendo's not directly publishing it, because this is a Pokemon company.
Yeah. Nintendo's still involved. I mean, Miyamoto was at this thing
Yeah.
at the reveal.
It probably would have been Iwata if he hadn't passed away this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That goes to show you just how big even Nintendo sees this. I mean,
Iwata was involved with it, wasn't he? They confirmed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, if you look at the biggest news story of the year is the passing of Satoru Iwata, Pokemon Go is one of the last major projects that he had hand in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, God, this is. I had Smash lower on my list, and talking about it has made me want to put Smash at number 3, because seriously, fucking Cloud and Ryu, like, that's insane.
Cloud, yeah, and the other reason Smash would rank so high is just because they were selling Amiibo all year, and general Amiibo craziness, especially in the first half of the year before they got their bloody printing houses in order. I mean, I had to stay up till 4 o'clock in the morning to buy a Rosalina once. So there's definitely something with Smash, and yeah, I had Smash number 4, but you know what? I had Miitomo number 3, and you guys are right. I think we need to move Smash up.
Yeah, I think Smash is number 3. And then I feel like Miitomo and Zelda Wii U are kind of a toss-up. They're both notable games that got delayed. But I guess Zelda Wii U would be the more notable game. I mean, Miitomo represents a lot more, but I think that Zelda Wii U is the more important game.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
So Zelda Wii U 4, Miitomo 5?
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I think we got a list. Yeah.
Not as painful as I expected.
Not quite the Giant Bomb Game of the Year level craziness I expected here, but just for the record here, the top 10 I had written I sort of wrote before the show was Splatoon, Zelda, Miitomo, Smash Brothers, Fire Emblem, then Mario Maker, Fatal Frame, Star Fox, Runbow, and Devil's Third.
Yeah, I think it's newsmaking. Like that's what makes me feeling okay with like Fatal Frame and Mario Maker not making the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, Splatoon I think is the clear winner. Pokemon Go, I think you forgot about Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I definitely did. When we got the PR that Pokemon Go is one of the 10 most searched games of the year, I was like, I didn't care. I just deleted it because it didn't as a Pokemon guy, Pokemon Go doesn't mean a whole lot to me, but to the people, the wider audience, that's gonna be huge next year.
Yeah. All right. So here's our list for people who forgot or just fast forwarded to the end. We got Roundabout at number 10 for being a dope-ass Wii U eShop game and the E3 Nindies at home. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Number 9, Dragon Quest VII for coming to the West. Number 8, Minecraft for coming to Nintendo systems.
Post Microsoft buyout.
Yeah. Number 7, Metroid Prime Federation Force for pissing everyone off. Fire Emblem Fates for being a consistent newsmaker over the course of, 10 months. Miitomo for representing Nintendo's mobile push. Zelda Wii U for being the Emperor Palpatine over the entire year. Super Smash Bros. Because Cloud Strife and Ryu. And Bayonetta. Pokemon Go for being the Nintendo mobile game that actually looks more intriguing right now. And Splatoon for being awesome.
Yeah.
All right. That is a list. And again, we will have our top 10 for games of the year early next year. We want to give people a chance to play Xenoblade over Christmas first, I assume.
That really is, honestly, there's a little bit of the impetus. And also Fast Racing and SteamWorld Heist coming out midway through December is another thing. Because I think that 2 of those 3 games will assuredly be in my own top 10. So stay tuned to Nintendo World Report. We'll probably have video stuff to go up with it too.
All right, Matt, any final thoughts from you?
No, I mean, this is a good list. I mean, I guess the only... I kind of thought Mario Maker and Devil's Third would be on there, but, I mean, I understand why they're not. I mean, especially Devil's Third, I guess, but... Yeah.
I mean, I think I would actually say if we're kind of looking at this list, Devil's Third and Mario Maker might be 11 and 12.
Yeah.
That seems fair. And more importantly, I get to park Devil's Third in the honorable mentions. So my final revenge against this thing.
That's kind of exactly what Nintendo did to it in their down titles a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, park it in the. Oh, by the way, it's also coming out this week.
Yeah.
That wins PR of the year.
Yeah.
All right, Neal, Matt, thank you so much for
no problem.
sitting
Thanks
with
for
me
having
for
us.
an
Yeah.
hour and a half and working this out. If you're still watching at this point, thank you very much for sticking with us for the last 90 minutes. And keep it locked to Nintendo World Report for more news and reviews and previews and everything you're looking for from Nintendo as we go into what will no doubt be an absolutely insane 2016.
Yep.
Till next time, keep your stick in the ass. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.